And what we looked at this and really tried to say, all right, how do we crystallize this? So first of all, you have to have a culture of safe reporting, and just back to this up here, or you're wasting your time. Don't bother. If you don't have a culture of safe reporting, you need to have no retaliation, and a process where it is that culture of safe reporting, and it's the you always hear somebody will come in who thinks they're really smart and they go, I'm going to go do my own investigation of this. And then they go back and talk to people. Well, that's really being intimidating. You're going back to people and saying, oh, tell me why I was mean to you. Well, that's intimidation. You can't do that. And you have to be able to deal with that. And then leadership must support the process, no matter how many RVUs you generate. And then culturally respected people need to run it. You can't be the first day on a job and in this situation. You need to have somebody that's in the situation, that people know who it is, respected in the process, and then it works. And then we did this as an algorithm, as it applies to behavior. It's our just culture, which is really trying to balance those things in administration with the things that we find are problems. First of all, did you follow best practices? So that the event that was happening, was it a best practice? And if the answer is yes, regardless of the outcome, we're going to support that. Because people need to understand that, in these biologic systems, sometimes it doesn't work out. And we need to support people. And then we ask about not only the situation, but what's the professional interaction? How did you deal with the people in these stressful situations? If it's professional, we're going to support and recognize, and sometimes we go back to people and say, good job. You were doing the right thing for the patient, and somebody felt that you were being more than direct. Well, listen, you did a best practice, and it was a professional interaction as best as we can tell. And then, but if the answer is no, and it was unprofessional, well, then we look at risk management, make sure there's no issues with risk, assess for impairment. Impairment is something, whether it's cognitive impairments, substance impairment, there's lots of different impairments out there. We review both sides of the story. We understand the stress of the situation. We look at the action. Is this a repeat offender? And then really try to assign accountability and then manage, because that's what people see. People see that you're actually interested and you are going to manage it, because you can't go back and tell everybody, oh yeah, I told Heslin, be nicer. And they don't see that. But over time, what you see is that there's a change in behavior and a change in the way the system is managed. So anyway, peer review, mostly seen as a big fat negative, but it doesn't have to be. If you make it simple, it's better and relevant. People will get it. You don't have to have the 50 lines of red, green, and yellow. Selling accountability is not possible. You got to be an advocate for people, and the leadership must engage and manage. You can't expect somebody else to manage physician behavior and physicians in their environment. Somebody has to suck it up and do it. And then the perception of wellness comes from the engaged leadership and supporting engaged faculty and residents. I think that's where that piece of it is. You can't get a Starbucks cookie and a gift card for a cup of coffee and say, here, be well. You need to actually engage in the system. And so what are the truisms around people and interactions? This is sort of like everybody knows this, but you have to say it out loud. One, it's not what you say mostly, it's how you say it. Two, everyone can have a bad day, but it can't be every day. And so you need to look at that and really look at the environment that you're in and have a true self-assessment. Do I like doing this or not? Your reputation and pattern of behavior matter such that future challenges can become unrecoverable. So you need to pay attention to that. And then, giving grace to others and not always taking yourself so seriously. It's like, hey, wait a second. Maybe I am being a little bit overbearing in this situation. And give people a little grace. It goes a long way. And this is my connections. Instead of Wordle, it's the connections. These are the 4 things that I would put in my connections. Give people grace, slack, give them a break, maybe a little mercy, because maybe they're having a bad day.